Someone around you is in a bad mood. You didn't cause it. You know that. You're gonna spend the next 2 hours trying to fix it anyway. That's not care. That's not sensitivity. That's not being a good person. That's a pattern that's been running so long, you stop noticing it. And it's costing you something you haven't named yet. Most people who do this think it's just how they are. Sensitive, empathetic, good at reading rooms. Those aren't wrong descriptions, but they're missing the part that matters. The part where other people's emotions stopped being something you noticed and became something you owned. Where someone being unhappy around you stopped feeling like their problem and started feeling like your failure. Where you took a job nobody gave you and never stopped showing up for it. Here's what that job actually looks like. You walk into a room and someone is off, distant, quieter than usual. Within seconds, your brain is running. Did I do something? Did I say something last time that landed wrong? Have I been too distant, too present? Did I ask too much, not enough? The questions don't stop until you find an answer. And when you can't find one, you don't conclude their mood has nothing to do with you. You conclude you missed something. So you start doing things, being warmer, more attentive, asking if they're okay, making yourself more available, more useful, more present. They didn't ask for any of this. You do it anyway. The discomfort of someone being unhappy around you is unbearable until you do something about it. So you do something every time. Here's the part that makes this harder than it sounds. It's not just one person, it's everyone. Your partner is stressed about work and you spend the whole evening trying to lift their mood even though the stress has nothing to do with you. Your friend sends a short text and you spend 2 hours decoding whether the shortness meant something. A colleague is cold in a meeting and you replay the past week trying to find where things went wrong. A family member sighs and the weight of it lands on you immediately. Every person, every mood, every change in energy, all of it becomes yours to solve. And here's the question worth sitting with. When was the last time you walked into a room and just existed in it without scanning, without monitoring, without adjusting, without making sure everyone was okay first? If you can't remember, that's the answer. Here's when this became normal. At some point, probably a long time ago, you learned that other people's emotions were yours to manage. Nobody said it directly. The environment taught you. Maybe someone's moods were unpredictable and staying alert kept things from getting worse. Maybe the atmosphere around you depended on certain people being happy, and you got good at reading the room and adjusting before things escalated. Maybe making people comfortable earned you something, safety, connection, approval. Whatever the specific lesson, you learned it well, and it worked. Things stayed calmer when you paid attention. People felt better when you made the effort. Conflict was avoided, so you kept doing it. In every room, with every person, in every relationship since. Until it stopped being a skill you chose and became a reflex you can't switch off. The problem with reflexes is this. They don't ask whether the situation actually requires them. They just fire. Someone's energy changes, and your system activates whether they need you or not, whether it's your problem or not, whether you have anything left to give or not. Here's the cost. The obvious one is exhaustion. Carrying other people's emotions constantly produces the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. You're not just tired from what you did, you're tired from what you felt. The monitoring, the scanning, the adjusting, the trying. Even alone, you're replaying interactions, checking for things you missed, feeling responsible for moods you haven't even encountered yet. But the deeper cost is this. You've made yourself responsible for something you cannot control. You cannot guarantee someone will be okay. You cannot prevent people from having bad days. You cannot fix moods that were never about you. And when your sense of whether you've done enough depends on how other people feel, you've built a system that can only make you feel like you're failing. Someone will always be unhappy somewhere. As long as that's your job to fix, you will never be done. And there's one more cost nobody talks about. When your entire attention is on monitoring and managing how other people feel, there's nothing left for how you feel. You know exactly how everyone around you is feeling at any given moment. and you often have no idea how you feel. Your feelings only get attention after everyone else's are handled, and everyone else's are never fully handled. So yours keep getting pushed back, indefinitely. Here's what doesn't work. Trying to stop caring. You can't decide to stop feeling responsible. The reflex is too deep, too automatic. Telling yourself it's not your job doesn't make it feel that way. Knowing something isn't your fault doesn't stop your body from treating it like it is. The awareness doesn't switch the feeling off. What can change with repetition over time is the response. The feeling will still arrive, someone's energy will change, and your system will activate. The responsibility will show up automatically. The question is what you do next. Instead of immediately adjusting and fixing and managing pause, long enough to ask one question. Did they ask for this? Did they ask? If they didn't, you have a choice. You can still help. Caring about people isn't the problem. The difference is choosing to help versus being unable to stop. One is care. The other is a job you gave yourself that nobody assigned, and nobody can fire you from. Other people's moods are not your weather. You don't control them. You didn't cause most of them. You can't fix all of them. You were never supposed to. You took the job anyway, without being asked, without anyone noticing the cost. And you've been doing it ever since, wondering why you're exhausted, wondering why you feel responsible for everything, wondering why you can never just exist in a room without monitoring everyone in it. The job was never yours. You just never stopped doing it.